Oh, sure. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It's so lovely to see you all here at Unity of Port Richey. So to start off service every Sunday, we light our Christ candle. So I'm going to light that and I'll bring us into an opening prayer. Well, you all just please take a nice big cleansing breath, just bringing that sweet spirit, that breath of life into your lungs, and just breathing out all thoughts of the future or the past. And let's just come into this blessed present moment of now. So in that spirit, in that divine presence of now, I'll just start this prayer. So, dear Creator of all there is, with the lighting of this Christ candle, we gratefully acknowledge the divinity within each and every one of us. I affirm with this knowing of our Christ consciousness, this inner divinity, that this higher mind state permeates all of our actions, words, and deeds. God is everywhere, within every living thing. We recognize and honor that divine presence that permeates all of existence. This inner light of Christ consciousness serves as a refuge from any storm, a place of unwavering knowing that all is good and all is God. As we cultivate a place of deep inner peace within, our outer world reflects this peace, creating a world that works for everyone in alignment with the light and love of God. And so it is. Amen. Well, I would love to welcome our guests today. So if you were here yesterday, which many of you were, it's good to see you all again. But our guests today are Shannon Plumber and Bob Sima. So welcome. Yeah. I'm going to read a little bit about them. So Shannon Plumber is a board-certified life coach, shamanic practitioner, musician, and intuitive guide. Bob Sima is an ordained minister, prolific musician, mentor, and teacher. His music is divinely inspired and has won awards in multiple musical genres. So Bob and Shannon together offer life-changing concerts, workshops, experiential retreats, as well as one-on-one coaching and healing programs. So together they amplify each other's gifts into a divine combination that will lead the soul to truth and peace. So let's welcome once again Bob and Shannon. Welcome. Yeah, thank you. So we are going to invite them up to do our opening song. But while they do that, please, we do our Feed the Hungry collection. So people are going to be walking. Yeah, come on up. So people are going to be walking up while you guys are doing your opening song. And so we take care of every week about 80 children in the community, in our local community. So with our Feed the Hungry collection here. So if you would, feel free to come on up and drop a few bucks if you'd like into the basket. All of the funds for this just go to the Feed the Hungry program. So thank you so much. And without further ado, thank you.
On my way up here, I switched the song. Divinely inspired, right? It was because of this hungry. And also because you guys seem to like to sing along and clap. Because we did a lot of that yesterday. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. You can sing it with us. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. Good words, good thoughts, good deeds. These are the things we need Thank you.
This is going to be a great service. I'm so glad. Woo, it's right. well, I would love to welcome everyone. My name is Sarah Fredrickson. I am one of the 7 prayer chaplains here. So you can see us by our lovely stoles. So we're all around the room here. But I would love to welcome you all. And is there anyone new here for the first time? If you are, yeah, just raise your hands. And so we have these welcome packets that we would love to give you. Within that packet, there's this little yellow card. And so you're welcome to fill it out and then give us your information. We can put you on our email list, and then you can stay up to date with all the good words that we've got coming out of here. You could put that yellow card in the offertory basket later on if you'd like. But thank you. So we like to let everyone know our vision, mission, and core values at the beginning of every service. And so our vision here at Unity of Port Richey, we are a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And our mission is, through prayer, service, education, and outreach, we support transformation and heart-centered living. And our core values, we are spirit-led, learning, loving, joy-filled, and community. And now I'd love to welcome our prayer chaplain of the day up, and that would be the lovely Lorraine. Welcome.
I'm so cold in the morning. My name is Lorraine Simpson, and I'm delighted to be your prayer chaplain for today. This is our prayer box, and we have slips out there that you can enter a prayer, something. Yeah, go ahead, knock it off. Something that you're happy about or whatever gifts you want. Anyway, we are really blessed to be able to pray with you. And it's our wonderful job, and we love it. Okay, our word for the today's, yeah, that's good, Lorraine. Where have you, I didn't get up, I had a bad day yesterday. I was just tired. Anyway, our word for the day is power. I have the power to choose my thoughts and direct my life. Feeling my power from within means I am grounded in spiritual truth and understanding. I speak my mind with calm certainty and change my mind whenever I choose. You can ask him. I live in a state of inner security and mastery. If I wish to make changes, I take dominion of myself and have faith in my innate power as a spiritual being. In the past, I may have looked outside myself to feel powerful, taking on another's beliefs or affiliating with something outside myself. Now I understand true power comes from within. I take dominion over my thoughts and feelings. I live my truth in confidence, knowing my thoughts derive from divine ideas. One with God, I have the power to create my life. From Timothy 1, verse 7. For God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline. Thank you.
Good morning. It is so nice to be back here. Yesterday was so fun. Yes, and you guys put in so much work yesterday. It was lovely and welcoming and yummy, right? Those bowls meals were yummy, and all of the gifts and the sharing was so yummy. It just fed every bit and part and piece. Yes, yay. So this morning is going to be about who is your neighbor. As I said yesterday, you guys asked me for like a talk title like 6 weeks ago, and I was like, really? I'm not even 6 weeks ahead yet. So when I was working through, what was coming through for me, what this meant to me now, right? It was a reminder of, it's wonderful when we get to sit in a crystal bowl meditation and be healed by the vibrations and the frequency of sound. When we go into a meditation or a shamanic journey and we sit with what our subconscious is bringing up, when we pray and consciously pray to God, all of these wonderful things that fill us and nurture us, we can't always stay out there, right? We are in this thing, right? Like, we are in this thing for a reason. Like, we are here to do something. What is that thing? And I think it was in 2012 when we went to see Marianne Williamson in the November event, the Sister Giant event. And I don't know if it was Marianne or if it was Jean Houston that said something about, like, we can't sit and bury our head like an ostrich, right? Like, we can only do that so long before we have to come and do something. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about today, because we all know, like, we don't want to talk about all of the taboo topics, right? But what we can say is we know that there's a lot of division going on, right? There's a lot of anti-this and for this and the others and this side and that side and everything. Is there really? Is it really? Right? The reality is that's how it's showing up, and we can't be blind to it. But if it matters to us that we wish that was different, then what can we do about that? Okay, so that's kind of what the talk is going to be about today. So I just want to start, before Bob plays a song called Insignificant Somethings, I just want to start with an excerpt from Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. He says, "I consider it a dangerous misconception of mental hygiene," I love that, "to assume that what man needs in the first place is equilibrium, or, as it is called in biology, homeostasis. In other words, a tensionless state." Remember what he said here. "I consider it a dangerous misconception of mental hygiene, of mental clarity, that what man needs is a tensionless state. What man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for a worthwhile goal, a freely chosen task. What he needs is not the discharge of tension at any cost, but the call of a potential meaning waiting to be fulfilled by him. What man needs is not homeostasis, but what I call new dynamics. It's NOO, dynamics. In other words, the existential dynamics in a polar field of tension." The existential dynamics in a polar field of tension, where one pole is represented by a meaning that is to be fulfilled, and the other pole by the man who has to fulfill it.
That's it. Mic drop. I mean, whew. I won't lie, I love to cry. I got a raging river inside, but my mind doesn't know when to let my heart go, and my soul won't let me hide. I'm a dreamer, I'm kinda lazy, but I call my crazy crazy. Yeah, I'm a wreck I'm a wreck, I'm a holy, holy mess, but I'm sacredly awake. And I'm not here because it's home. I'm not lost and I know I'm not alone. Cause I see it in your eyes and I see it in the stars and I see it everywhere. That the same thing that pains me, well, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant somethings? Are we hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of a one thing? And we rise and we fall, and we run, then we walk, then we crawl. Well, we might not have it all together, but together we have it all. And I see you in me, and me in you. And the lines get crossed and blurry, and I worry, and I get so confused because we hurt from our hurt, and we fear from our worst, and we love from the love that we won't drink of. It's an endless, bottomless thirst, and I have found that it matters that the past has passed. And if you dare to let it go and you stare down the ghost, well, the ghost stops staring back. And the same thing that pains me, well, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant something? Are we hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of a one thing? And we rise and we fall, and we run, then we walk, then we crawl. Well, we might not have it all together, but together we have it all. And when you see me, you can know me. 'Cause I'm a little bit of her and him, I'm a little bit of me and you. There are no strangers, they're in danger of missing out on this truth that there are sages and there are queens. There's a seen and there is the unseen. When you gaze in the mirror, will it ever get clearer than to wake up from this dream that there are lies before your eyes? We're all wrapped up in a disguise. Well, the truth, it needs no proof, and it goes by many names and many languages and many faiths. So stop seeking and seeking you, and be still and you know that it's true. There's a man by the river with a bucket of water to sell to you. And the same thing that pains me, it pains you. What if we are everything and we're nothing? Are we insignificant somethings? We're hardly innocent, purely magnificent pieces of a one thing. And we rise and we fall, and we run and we walk, then we crawl. And we might not have it all together, but together we have it all.
So does it ever feel like the world is in a state of suffering? Do you ever feel like you're just kind of like smack dab in like the craziest of crazies, and like, where's the light? Yeah. And if we go back to Viktor Frankl, he said, what man actually needs is not attentionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for a worthwhile goal, a freely chosen task. What he needs is not the discharge of tension at any cost, but the call of a potential meaning waiting to be fulfilled by him. So Frankl would indicate that humans find their meaning or their purpose, their goals, their aspirations, their absolute potential in moments of ease or comfort. Those are all high vibrational states where the tension has been discharged and dissipated. Yes? It indicates that we'll come closer to the clarity of our passion and our desires, our service, our like big picture in the midst of conflict and confusion and frustration and maybe even pain. So are you able to find within your full polar field of tension meaning that is to be fulfilled? That's one pole. And also the person who has to fulfill it. Do you recognize that it's you? It's you. Yeah, that has a meaning that is to be fulfilled. Not only do you have one, the fulfillment of that meaning heals not only yourself, but it also opens to the expansion and that rippling effect of that healing onto others whom you touch, whether it's directly or indirectly. Your healing opens the same invitation for healing to others. Your healing opens pathways for the earth to heal, for the collective to heal. That's step one. Are you able to find within the polar field of tension meaning that is to be fulfilled and the person who has to fulfill it in another person? Every other person has meaning to be fulfilled. Their meaning heals not only themselves, but it opens up for the ripple to happen. Everyone around them, including you. Their healing opens the invitation for the collective, for the earth to heal. And most importantly, their healing is different than yours. Can you grasp that? Because if we can grasp that, how could there ever exist vile or offensive condemnation, hatred, slander, blame, mistrust, disrespect, misunderstanding, apathy? If we truly believe that every person has a meaning to be fulfilled, those things can't exist because we recognize that every part of the collective has to fulfill their purpose for the collective to become whole. It would then, I believe, be our duty and our responsibility to work extremely hard to better understand others so that we can work on that piece of us that is potentially repelled by someone else's healing journey toward fulfillment. Denying any other is denying that same piece of us within. We can only become defensive when we diminish or devalue our own opinion or belief so incredibly that we feel we have to convince somebody else that it has value. Maybe what we actually need is to value our own belief system, understand why we have that belief system, discern if we need to maybe course correct the source of that belief, empower ourselves to take inspired action and model the behaviors we wish to exemplify. Seeing the potential of ourselves, both good and bad, if we have to label. Seeing the potential of ourselves in others is a call for action. Our internal or external actions are internal and external non-actions will speak for themselves, whether they're inspired, compassionate, and loving, or if they're offensive, reactionary, and degrading. Whether it's self-talk or whether it's talk about somebody else. Do we love our neighbors as we love ourselves? Because the way we love our neighbors is the exact same way we love ourselves. There's a quote from Marcel Proust. Then it really hit me the first time I stumbled upon it. It says, "Since desire always goes towards that which is our direct opposite, it forces us to love that which will make us suffer. Since desire always goes towards that which is our direct opposite, it forces us to love that which will make us suffer." In my opinion, we have to be able to accept what is, what happens, who people are, and how people show up with compassion in order to fall in love, not with them, but with ourselves. Falling in love with ourselves is the highest challenge I think we have in this human existence. Because once we think we have that figured out, guess what happens? Relationships. If we read all the books and listened to all the inspiring things and sat in the corner in our room, we'd be perfect, yes? But that's not life. Relationships happen. That's our test. When we're sitting in the quiet and we get it all and it all makes sense, oh my gosh, it's all peace and love. And then we go out in the world, is it still peace and love? Can we dig deep enough into ourselves to uncover self-love and willingly share love for others? And I'm not necessarily talking about everybody in this room. We're talking about all others. Just imagine if we only responded with and through love. Imagine how you'd see yourself if you accepted all of you through your own lens of love. Imagine how you would care for your beloveds if you only responded to them with love. Imagine how you would see the world if you made an agreement with yourself to find a thread of love, even just a thread of love in everything you watch, you hear, and you experience. Imagine what that would feel like. Imagine how you might shift, how we collectively might shift. And with that idealism, with that polarity, with that state of tension, always looking for the thread. So with that, I want to invite you into a meditation. And as you find that right and perfect, comfortable position for you to receive, to feel, to connect to that source of divinity, and whatever you want to call it. I like to call it the all that is. God, it doesn't care what you call it. It just cares that you connect to it. Feel that presence and connect to that presence. And within that presence, I invite you to find a thread of love that you can really, really hold on to. Like it's a rope that you're climbing to get out of the pit. Find that thread and feel it. What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What is it saying to you? And I invite you to welcome that presence that you know as love into your entire being. Let it fill your cells, let it fill your body, let it flow through your blood. Let it seep through your skin, out into your energy field. You are in love, smack in the middle. And I invite you to hold on tight to that feeling. Let it consume you. Stay with it. And then I invite you to bring into consciousness someone, something, some concept that you get triggered by, that you find that repels you, that you want initially to blurt out something that might not be so kind. Bring that into consciousness. And if it's not a person, give it a shape, give it an object to represent it, and put it right in front of you in a chair. And you yourself take a seat and stare at it. And stare at it and send it all of that love that you were just feeling. And allow yourself to find within that a thread of the same frequency and the same vibration as the love that you just sent to it. It's in there. Allow it to speak to you. Ask it a question. Seek to understand where that thread of love might be, what it might represent. Is it so different than your desires?
When the words fell off of your tongue, the damage was already done. When the war inside of you meets the war inside of me, the words are only begun. When there's two pair of eyes that are blind, broken hearts entangled in their own lives, you get dividing lines, positions and sides. In the middle, the truth silently hides. They were brothers and sisters, and mystical whispers of some big and beautiful women. We're divinely connected, yet somehow misdirected by these unending wars. we take a long, hard look inside. There's a lot less of ourselves that we'd ever hope to find. See the blood that flows through you and the breath that's breathing me. Well, it's all from one infinite mind. And we're brothers and sisters in mystic whispers of some big and beautiful wind. And we're divinely connected, held and protected when we can see each other within. What I see in your eyes is grace, and the reflection coming back means we're of the same place. When the center of you sees the center of me, we take all the suffering away from this place. When forgiveness fell from your tongue, its sweet fragrance left its permanent mark. When the peace inside of you meets the peace inside of me, the war is over before it can start. And we're brothers and sisters in mystical whispers of some big and beautiful wind. And we're divinely connected, and we're held and protected when we can see each other within.
So as you sit with this being, this object, let go of the personality, let go of the cultural stigma attached, let go of the opinions, the agendas, the headlines, and find your connection to it. What does it mean to you? Find the grace. Recognize there is some meaning to be fulfilled in you and in it. And I encourage you to let that thread bridge the connection. That thread of love, bridge that connection. And maybe you love this work so much that you had many different things sitting in the chair across from you. It's great practice. And if you put someone in that chair or something in that chair that you just can't quite get that connection to, guess what? There's always another try. So I encourage you to bow. Thank you. Send that grace in your eyes to this experience. Maybe I'll be back. Maybe we'll try again. But the point is, we tried. And in that state of grace, I invite you to pull into your heart space your connection to the divine energy of love. Pull it right back from your field into your heart space. And as you receive your next breath, I invite you to really plant it. Plant it right in your heart. And with that exhale, simply know that it is there for you to access anytime you're ready. With your next inhale, I invite you to slowly come back into the room. Feel your brothers and sisters around you. And allow yourself to receive and to give that love every moment, every choice. When the center of you sees the center of me, we take all of the suffering away from this place. I mean, that, just reading it gave me chills. How do we find the center of ourselves? Maybe love isn't your word. Maybe it's another quality. Whatever that massive divine connection, whatever that word is for you, use it. Maybe it's not love. How do we meet the center of another? When we clear our vision through our own objective healing lens, we begin to foster compassion and grace and forgiveness and love, and understanding first with ourselves. If we can sit with that being across from us that makes us want to say something nasty when we're in human form and we're stuck in the muck of humanity, and we can sit with grace and we can say, wait a minute, I see you. Not the fluff and the words and the da-da-da-da. Not the stuff that we really want to comment about, right? But I see you like I see. Like, that's when we see that thing that we're so repelled by, we can realize that that's in us too. We might not act a particular way about it or with it or toward it, but it is a piece of us. Otherwise, it wouldn't exist in the world, because we're all pieces of everything. So we can begin to see different perspectives simply as different perspectives, instead of as threats or conflict or judgment. We can begin to connect to the center of ourselves because we are choosing to find the center of another. The deeper understanding of a human condition comes when we realize that all behaviors are conditioned. We choose to be a certain way because of something, a condition that may or may not be true, but appears to be real. We behave based on a thought, a belief, a story, a fear, a hope, a desire, a directive, an experience, a joy, a feeling, a memory. Often, our behaviors are not an accurate representation of the highest potential that we know we can be. Fair? Often our behaviors are intentionally chosen to muster a response in someone else so they can become a higher potential that we see within them. Relationships. They open up an entire box of polarities, right? Tensions yet potential, vulnerabilities yet meaning, conflict and resolution. All of those polarities about our own existence within our polar field of tension, not only with another living and breathing being. Maybe it's a two-legged, maybe it's a four-legged, maybe it's a winged one, a finned one, a crawler, planetary ones. But the relationship with ourselves. Like, I'm not just talking about people relationships here, but relationships that we have with every other thing. That's why I said if a concept came up to you, find an object that represents that concept to you. Because everything that we do, we have a relationship with. Food, religion, politics, sexuality, career, money, news, social media, football. Woohoo! We can move beyond even those things and move into maybe things that I feel might be more significant, like our relationship with avoidance, honesty, trust, love, compassion, service, anger, grief, compliments. Everything is a relationship. How are we doing with them? Because how we do with them is what we project on our neighbor. We all know that internal tension that enters as we interact with any relationship is a mirror of what we haven't resolved within our own self. We just talked about that at breakfast this morning. Growth happens when we know our inspired action is about ourselves. Growth does not happen when we creatively attempt to place the blame on something outside of us for enticing or luring us into behavior or action. Our behavior and our action is free will choice. I would say shame on us for bypassing our worthwhile goals, our freely chosen tasks, our potential meaning, our soul's fulfillment. We are not tending toward loving that which makes us suffer when we're creatively attempting to place blame. Carrie Murphy wrote, "Create Change Now," and she has a reflection at the beginning called "Nurture Your Relationships with Empathy." And it starts with a quote from Khalil Gibran, and it says, "Tenderness and kindness are not signs of weakness and despair, but manifestations of strength and resolution." So Carrie writes this, "In the process of nurturing your own personal growth, it's important to also acknowledge and support the unique expression of your loved ones. The unique expression of your loved ones. Your ability to empathize with your partners, children, friends, and colleagues will enhance every aspect of your relationship with them. It will also remind you of the potential for the mutual understanding and acceptance that we all need and desire. We create much more intimacy in relationships when we learn to share in relationship through understanding. We may still be independent in our own beliefs, yet in space dependence, of truly learning about another. Did you get that? We may be independent in our own beliefs, yet independence of truly learning about another as superficially or as intimately as we allow ourselves to trust, with no regard for reciprocal attention. This, I believe, is where spirituality begins. Spiritual independence, one word, spiritual independence leads to spiritual independence of others. Every relationship requires presence and commitment and work to realize the potential of the dynamics that exist between communities and neighbors and friends and families and lovers and coworkers. That realization of potential is what then allows us to recognize the strengths and the goodness and the love within ourselves. At the same time, it also shows us our challenges, our distortions, and our disappointments. Those, I believe, are the deadliest and most threatening viruses that we carry. Those viruses are the most rampant, and they proliferate unapologetically, calling for us to do our inner work, to heal that which we have been so distracted to address, to recognize those areas that are just begging for our attention. Those viruses that prevent us from acting as our true selves. The viruses that encourage us to spew hate at our neighbors. The viruses that convince us that we can despise any other thing in this absolutely extraordinary world. And we think that we can still love ourselves when we despise that thing. So I'm going to finish with this story called The Grandmother's Table. It's by the Grimm brothers. Once there was a feeble old woman whose husband died and left her all alone. So she went to live with her son and his wife and their own little daughter. Every day, the old woman's sight dimmed and her hearing grew worse. And sometimes at dinner, her hands trembled so badly, the peas rolled off her spoon or the soup ran from her cup. The son and his wife could not help but be annoyed at the way she spilled her meal all over the table. And one day, after she knocked over a glass of milk, they told each other, enough is enough. They set up a small table for her in the corner next to the broom closet and made the old woman eat her meals there. She sat all alone, looking with tear-filled eyes across the room at the others. Sometimes they spoke to her while they ate, but usually it was to scold her for dropping a bowl or a fork. One evening, just before dinner, the little girl was busy playing on the floor with her building blocks, and her father asked her what she was making. "I'm building a little table for you and Mother," she smiled, "so you can eat by yourselves in the corner someday when I get big." Her parents sat staring at her for some time, and then suddenly both began to cry. That night, they led the old woman back to her place at the big table. From then on, she ate with the rest of the family, and her son and his wife never seemed to mind a bit when she spilled something every now and then. So the question from all of this, what are you pushing over in the corner and scolding and pointing the finger at? Because at some point it needs to sit at the table with you. Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Straight from Yeshua. Lewis Smedes is quoted saying, "To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that that prisoner is you." So on our personal quest of spiritual independence for self and spiritual independence with others, I'm going to toss these questions out. Do you feel in right relationship with every person in your life? And if you choose to read the news and blah, 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 social media, every person means every person, because as soon as you engage, there is a tether, an energetic tether that creates that relationship. Do you feel in right relationship with every person in your life? Do you feel in right relationship with everything in your life? Do you feel in right relationship with every quality you exemplify? Will you be able to smile as you approach your final exhale? If we recognize the internal work that we owe ourselves and the collective, we will get closer and closer to answer each one of those questions with a resounding yes. There's work to be done, action to be taken, not to convince, but to leave behind our meaning fulfilled. And just this morning, you can't make this stuff up, right? In one of the emails that I'm on, this quote came through from Eric Fromm. I believe that if an individual is not on the path to transcending his society and seeing in what way it furthers or impedes the development of human potential, he cannot enter into intimate contact with his humanity. Who is your neighbor?
Sing a song to the heart of the world. Never work a day in your life. Fill the hole in the soul of the earth. Never work a day in your life. Sit beside and give of your time. Lay your hands on, look deep in their eyes, and let love radiate from your smile. Never work a day. Your cup will overflow and always be replenished. You'll never be lost. The path will be clear in your feet. Will never be song to the heart of the world. Never work a day in your life. Fill a hole in the soul of the earth. Never work a day in your life. Breathe belief into the pocket of the thief. Be life for those drowning in grief. Whisper home for the people on the streets. Never work a day. Your cup will overflow and always be replenished. You'll never be lost. The path will be clear in your feet. Will never be finished. Oh. Give from your overflowing cup. Listen more, you've already said enough. Mind your energy and seek to know yourself. Let the wind blow its song through your breath. Create and recreate from your depth. Sing your songs so that they will never forget. Sprinkle wonder out in every direction. Dance wild, spread love's beautiful infection. And laugh out loud at the ridiculous perfection. Never work a day. Leave a legacy, leave something in this place. Something wonderful and wise to show the way. Ancestors smile, descendants patiently await. Live your life like that legacy. that legacy is today. 'Cause there's no time like this moment to give all of your gifts away. Thank you, guys.
Well, let's have another round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. This was wonderful. This is absolutely phenomenal. So thank you. Well, on that note, I'm going to say all the thanks. Thanks, everyone. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the wonderful event we had yesterday. So this has been quite a light-filled weekend. So thank you all. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Stephen. So this Thursday and every Thursday, I'll be offering a guided meditation and healing circle here at 10:30 a.m. So come and join me. I'll be having my tuning forks and give you all a little tune up as well. So we also have after service every day, every Sunday here, we have our hospitality. We have a wonderful snack sign up that you could participate in. We have our volunteers for usher and greeter. You could also sign up for that. We have all sorts of volunteer opportunities. If you don't see anything and you want to share the love, please reach out to Gail or myself, and we will delight in having you help us with something here at Unity of Port Richey. We have our gift shop, and it has been named. It is called the Inspiration Station. Yeah. So if you need something, we have, Valentine's Day coming up on Friday. So perhaps you might need a little Valentine's Day gift. We have all sorts of little hearts up there that you might want to get. So that's in the children's room. So there is, the last thing is that we have our upcoming annual meeting on February 23rd. So if you feel called to potentially be on the board, we could always have more board members. So there's an application that you could fill out. That's also in the lobby. And then you could give it to Gail or myself as well. And now we would love to prepare our gifts. So if we could have the ushers come forward, that would be wonderful. Thank you. And so we have a affirmation that we like to say. Well, it's all right. It's somewhere. Oh, here it is. Okay. So the affirmation. So if you would just hold your wonderful offering up to your heart space and then just repeat this wonderful saying here. It's, I give thanks for all my blessings. I share my gifts freely and I receive gratefully. I am in the flow of abundant life. Well, we have a little song that we would sing, and let's just sing it. Do you remember? It's I am abundantly blessed. I'm not a singer, but I can pretend. I can pretend. Oh. So it's, I am abundantly blessed. I am abundantly blessed. Gifts fall upon me at every request. I am abundantly blessed. I am abundantly blessed. I am abundantly blessed. Gifts fall upon me at every request. I am abundantly blessed. Well, thank you. And I will do the honors of blessing our offerings today. Oh, yeah, thanks. I'm like, what you pointing at? This right here. All right. Well, I'm so grateful. So I open up my heart space and I say, we are abundantly blessed. So blessing these offerings is such a joy. So thank you all who have donated your financial gifts to help us here at Unity of Port Richey be a beacon of light on this beautiful nature coast. And so I just say thank you, thank you, thank you, and amen. And let's do the peace song, I guess, huh? say the prayer of protection. So the light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and I am divine. Have a blessed week, everybody. Thank you.
The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence wherever I am. God is. The light of God surrounds us. We are the light. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love. The power of God protects us. We are the power. The presence of God watches over